and other decision makers to develop a stronger financial management skills specific to project management. So they need to learn how to accurately estimate project costs, maintain strict financial oversight throughout the project lifecycle, and respond effectively to financial challenges like budget overruns. Addressing this need will help organization complete projects within scope, time, and budget while also maximizing financial efficiency. Today, we are privileged to have Mr. Vaibhav Pandey as our webinar speaker. Mr. Vaibhav Pandey is a CBAP or Certified Business Analysis Professional, Agile Scrum Master, and ITIL Certified Business Consultant with over 15 years of corporate experience and over 10 plus years delivering classroom sessions, online and corporate training programs. With extensive work experience at IT giants, he has mastered business and system documentation, data analysis using ETL and Tableau, and agile practices. His expertise extend to financial management and budgeting for project managers, where they skillfully bridge practical insights with real-life project scenarios. Known for his strong communication skills and innovative analytical approach, he excels at requirements elicitation, workflow design, and solution visualization, making complex financial concepts accessible to his trainees. So with that, I'll turn the time over to Mr. Vaibhav Pandey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lester. A quick confirmation. Can you all hear me loud and clear? And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the confirmation. And thank you, Lester, for the introduction. So let me share my screen now with everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We'll start with a discussion around few basic things first, and then we'll so I think we are done with the introduction, so we can talk about few important things as part of this webinar. By the end of this webinar, everyone will be able to understand the key financial metrics. I hope you all must be aware about these things, but key financial metrics and the relevance to project success. So as part of business analysis, financial analysis, project management, it's an important thing for us to come up with very structured and organized approach towards our financial analysis, cost and budget analysis, risk analysis. And when we come up with the key financial metrics, it helps us come up with a very structured approach, and that helps us come up with the desired outputs. I can tell you from my own personal experience that when we're not coming up with the standard approach, the best set of practices, then it becomes very difficult for us to take a proper decision. It becomes very difficult for us to come up with a required solution. So that's why the financial metrics, how we come up with proper cost estimation skills, how well we are able to develop and design project budgets, these all things will help us come up with very efficient, plan-driven approach in any project. How to track and report on financial aspects throughout the project life cycle, from the inception till the closure, how well you are able to maintain all such things. It's a very important thing for any analyst, manager, or the consultant. Strategies and practical tips, identifying, mitigating, and correcting budget deviations before they impact the project success. So proactive analysis, instead of doing a reactive analysis, may help us in all such cases. So we'll discuss about these things in a nutshell. as part of this webinar, and we'll talk about few very basic aspects first, and then we'll talk about some standard important things as part of financial analysis, modeling, consulting, management, and all such things in detail. So thank you everyone for joining the webinar today. Lester, do we need to have introduction from our learners, or shall I proceed with our discussion? Are you there with us, Lester? Yes, shall we have a quick round table and have introduction from the learners as well? Yes. So you all can make it quick. So, and you all can turn on your cameras as well and then introduce yourself. Yeah. So I can go with the alphabetical order here. I can see Alvin Redlow on the screen. If you can unmute yourself, introduce yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So actually, I'm Alvin Redilia, a project manager of a pharmaceutical company. So actually, I'm handling construction projects here in our company.
Thank you, Alvin, for joining the session today. Thank you so much. And then we have, I can see in the list, Kejil Darren. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, yeah, please go ahead. I can see you on the screen. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kejil Darren Aboy. I'm a facilities manager for a business process outsourcing firm here in Davao City. So I'm connected with Transcom. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the quick introduction. Next in the list, let me check. I can see here Alvin, we were done with the casual. Then after that, we have Ali with us. Ali Kojukam. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah,
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ai, and I am from Enchanted Kingdom, Philippines. I am a corporate planning manager. So I'm basically handling master plans and corporate plans, strategic plans of Enchanted Kingdom.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Then we have Aikela Andio, if you can hear me. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Can you hear me now? Please go ahead and introduce yourself. I think there's some issue. So Aminal, yeah, I can see you now. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm Micaela Buendia. I'm a project development manager.
Okay.
Solar project development manager. I'm handling solar power projects under a
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for the introduction. Then we have Aminal with us. Aminal Data Cruz. Sure to go next. Yes, please. I can see you. But you're on mute. Can unmute yourself. Okay, let me try.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. My name's Emil. I'm an ERP consultant and an IT systems administrator here in. I'm actually Vietnam based. So I oversee and manage our IT system.
So mean it into a techno-functional kind of role. Yeah. Thank you so much for the introduction. Let me quickly move on to Aarti K. I can see on the screen. Okay, you're from Apex. So I'll move to Diana Lopez. Diana, can you hear me? Are you there with us, Diana Lopez? Or will you?
Hi, Survivor. This is Neha.
Yeah.
I think we can proceed given the time constraint.
Sure,
yeah,
sure. Yes. Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah. So since very correct, like since we're very limited time, so we can proceed with that discussion and we can cover a few important things. So thank you, Sneha. So When we talk about everyone, the financial analysis, when we talk about the business analysis, it's an important thing for us to understand the basic concept behind integrating financial management into the project management. Project management and financial management must be in synchronization, must be linked to each other so that we get the desired outputs. Financial management will help us come up with a better business value. We'll be able to justify the important decisions. We'll be able to come up with better strategy. If financial management and project management are integrated with each other. Budget in the project management is also a very important thing. And capital budgeting techniques may help us come up with proper cost and budget for the projects. Capital budgeting techniques like return on investments, payback period, present value calculations, net present value calculations, internal rate of return, total cost of ownership, cost of the change, and all such calculations, all such important estimations may help us come up with proper budgeting in the project management. And all these things are covered as part of the financial management. Strategies for managing budget overrun, cost estimation and forecasting is also a very important thing. How well we are able to predict, how well we are able to think about the future state in terms of the analysis of the current state. Those all things may help us come up with proper forecasting. And this forecasting helps us in proper decision making. Then when we talk about financial management, everyone, so as you all can see here, some key aspects of financial management include budgeting. As we all know, it's a very important thing to come up with the proper budget estimates. Financial planning, upfront planning, proactive analysis to come up with proper planning. Risk management, wherein it's an important thing for us as a BA or as a project manager to think about the risk tolerance as well as risk treatment. Risk tolerance may include how well we're able to seek the risk, aversioning capabilities, how well we are neutral towards the different risks that we have. Risk management may include the financial management risks like your credit risk, operational risks, market risks. Like if I talk about my project, so currently I'm into the credit risk management project with one of the leading UK bank. And we do all such types of analysis, look into the performance of different portfolios so as to mitigate the risk. And then we also take the help of some important tools, technology that helps us get some forecasting results, helps us with some predictions, some projections, certain trends, certain patterns, and those patterns and trends help us take a better decision. So that's why in financial management in project management involves planning, proper upfront planning, plan-driven approach, a structured and organized way to deal with important aspects of the business. Monitoring and controlling of financial resources is also very important things. How well we are able to define our capital expenditures, operational expenditures. How well we are able to come up with a proper estimation of different objects or different important items as part of our project is also a very important thing to ensure that project is completed within its budget and financial objectives are achieved. But I'd like to mention one more thing here, everyone, that apart from financial management, for any consultant, for any business analyst, it's also very important to maintain the balance with the customer value. Sometimes what happens is, it has even happened with me as well, that we are looking into the financial justification, we are trying to mitigate the risk, we are coming up with the proper financial planning. But in those cases, we are giving less weightage or priority to customer demands, customer expectations, and that results into a failure of the project sometimes. It's an important thing for us to come up with proper budgeting, financial planning, but at the same time, this must be balanced with the voice of the customer, the house of quality, and also the customer expectations. So that's why it says, you can see in the next point, it integrates the principle of financial management with project management practices to deliver value while adhering to the budget constraints. And when we talk about delivering value, some people think that value is just about profitability or just about certain gain margins and about coming up with better revenues. But no, value would always be a combination of business value and the customer value. Business value in terms of your profitability, your gain margins, while customer value in terms of customer satisfaction level, the house of quality, the product features, and all such things may help you come up with proper value. So this is about some key aspects, everyone. In the next slide, you can see here that when we come up with the financial management life cycle, there are few important things to consider with regard to life cycle. And the first thing is the origin. The first thing is how we kickstart the things, how we initialize, how we start or trigger the things. Triggering is a very important thing, initial phase. So before approving the budget, before approving the project, it's financial feasibility. You can see here, it's mentioned about the financial feasibility. Financial feasibility is a very important thing that must be evaluated in relation to the agency's capacity. I have been part of the projects when we perform our business capability analysis. And so many times we have seen this thing that the financial justifications are not aligned with the complete financial management. And that results into a lot of failures in the later stages. So that's why it's an important thing that when we start, when we trigger any project, any process, any activity, we first check whether it's financially feasible, whether all those important features, items, processes that we are planning to deliver, are these in line with the financial justifications? And for that thing, we have several techniques, several mathematical calculations, several tools nowadays to help us perform proper financial feasibility. And this becomes part of a proactive analysis, everyone. How well we are proactively doing this thing, upfront planning. And this upfront planning will help us reduce uncertainties in the later stages. That's why in the initial stages, when we start with our financial management, it's an important thing to check for financial feasibility. There are other feasibilities as well, like technology feasibility, resource feasibility, and others. But the top priority is given to the financial feasibility, because that is going to drive the complete cycle. Second thing is planning phase. This is the next phase once we have initiated the things. And financial management begins during the planning stage, where project costs and budgets are allocated in line with key milestones and their schedule. That's why it's a very important thing that when we have started the things, we come up with a proper roadmap. We come up with a blueprint. As some of the learners had mentioned during their introduction, that they're into strategy. So come up with the strategy, the tactical things, so that you have a proper roadmap in place. You have the complete, you may say, insights into what you're going to deliver, what you're going to work upon, what are our milestones. And that helps us come up with the project cost and budget estimates and then proper allocation strategy. So that's why planning phase is also very important. In planning phase, we have a lot of techniques that we can discuss in our sessions, not today because it's just a 1 hour webinar, but planning phase involves a lot of techniques, a lot of important calculations, a lot of important, you may say, standard procedures. Those help us come up with the definition of milestones, roadmaps, schedule, and how well we are able to allocate project cost and budget accordingly. So mapping all these things, structuring and organizing the things in the planning phase is a very important thing, and that will help us have a smooth transition from one state to another during the life cycle. Execution phase. Execution phase is also a very important one once we're done with planning. And as part of this execution phase, as a project team carries out tasks, it is essential to closely monitor the budget for expenses and any cost variances. Sometimes what happens is I've seen in so many projects that project managers, your project coordinators, even business consultants, they are very proactively involved when we are into the initial phases and planning phases. But when it comes to execution, yes, they are a bit on lower side. They're not taking this as a priority item, and they leave this for the implementation team to do. But that's not a correct approach. This is the main critical thing, the most important thing in any financial management life cycle, that when we are into the execution phase, proper traceability, monitoring is very important thing, so that financial feasibility is analyzed properly and we closely monitor each and every expense, the capital expenditures, the operational expenditures, any variances. Sometimes what happens is we come up with a proper plan, but due to certain undesirable consequences, due to some uncertainties, there are some cost variances. So that's what's a very important thing, to do proper risk analysis to deal with all those cost variances. Financial risk management helps us create risk, market risk, operational risk. These all kind of risk management strategies may help us avoid these variances. And if there is any variance, then we may come up with a plan to deal with those variances. So as part of financial management, the risk management is also a very important thing when we are into the execution phase, so that we are able to hassle-free transition from the initiation to closure. And there comes the importance of the risk assessments. There comes the importance of monitoring, tracking, evaluating the things, so that we are able to come up with a proper closure phase. And even closure phase is also a very important thing, so that we are able to successfully complete the given life cycle. Upon project completion, a financial review should be performed to assess the return on investments and the overall financial impacts of the project. That's all part of evaluation. What is the ROI? What are the important benefits? And that will be part of the closure phase. So if we follow all such best practices, everyone, in any project or in any initiative, this will help us come up with a very structured and organized approach, and also the results, those may act as a benchmark for our upcoming initiatives. I've seen so many times in our projects that when we start the new project, they say, do we have any successful project in place? Do we have any benchmarks for us to refer? And so many times we do not have those things. But if if we are coming up with proper financial management, not only it helps us in proper closure of the given project, but we may also come up with the benchmarks for our upcoming initiatives, for our upcoming projects. So that's why it helps us not only successfully complete the project, but also define the standard operating procedures. Yes, and those may also help the our upcoming initiatives, and then we may follow those things and get the desired output. So that's a very important thing, to focus on all these 4 important things when we are doing our financial management or project management: initiation phase, financial feasibility, planning phase, looking into the project cost and budget allocation that should be in line with the milestones, execution, tracking and monitoring the things effectively, and at last closure plan to estimate and come up with the profitabilities, the gain margin, or in simple terms, the return on investments. So this is something linked with your project management life cycle, everyone. I'm going a bit fast here because we just have limited time. Challenges in financial management, that's also a very important thing for us to understand on high level here. Is there any question from anyone? Yes. When we talk about challenges, everyone, so first thing is monitoring incorrect matrices, if we have any, when we have come up with a plan. A common financial challenge is selecting the right matrix to track, as too many or faulty measures can complicate decision making. It's an important thing that we identify the right set of items. When we create a matrix, sometimes what happens is we put everything into that matrix and think that we will track each and everything, but no. It's an important thing to rank, to prioritize, and come up with the matrix with critical items in the top list and less critical items at the bottom, so that you're able to come up with a proper structured matrix and you can track the important things. It's better to focus on few key metrics that offer clear insights into the project progress and the ROI. Like which all are the important capital expenditures? What are the important operational expenditures? What are the benefits realized? Where do you think there will be losses? And all such items will help you come up with the proper metrics. And this will help you come up with proper calculation of ROI as well. Else it happens so many projects that matrix contains a lot of items, those are not adding any value, and that results into the incorrect projections, incorrect trends. And if you don't have proper trends and patterns in the data set, you won't be able to take a better decision. So that's why it's an important thing for any consultant, for any manager to think about the right set of items, the critical items, those must be part of the metrics that you track. Second thing is poor track methodologies. A frequent mistake is not centralizing financial tracking in one tool, leading to inconsistent monitoring and errors. Integrating financial management software with your project management tool simplifies tracking and reporting on revenues, cash flow, earned value, and profits. I can tell you, I can share my own personal experience here, that sometimes what happens is that we have some very good project with a lot of budget and there's no cost constraint. And then we start to use multiple tools to perform our risk analysis, our financial analysis, and different tools are giving us different results. And that sometimes creates inconsistent information. It's an important thing that instead of using multiple techniques, we focus upon some key techniques and then come up with one consolidated output that can be shared with everyone for analysis. Sometimes coming up with scattered sort of things, output from different sources, creates a lot of confusion, and that confusion leads to errors. So that's why it's an important thing that we use some better financial management tool that's applicable to most of the processes. So that we're getting some input, those inputs are converted to output, and that output helps us perform proper tracking, monitoring, and evaluation, and that leads to the overall success of the project. Improper managed risks may lead to scope creep. And what is scope creep, everyone? When something unwanted, duplicate, redundant is added, and that causes noise, that causes confusion, and that results into deviation from the expectations. So scope creep and unforeseen issues can also cause the overruns, the spillovers, and other issues. Implementing a risk management and change control process, everyone. We can discuss about change control process in detail once we're into our sessions, in detail how it works, change control mechanism, change control process, how it includes plan for prioritization, decision makings, approvals. Change control process is a very important thing as part of our risk management strategy. During planning, helps address problems and client requests without affecting the budget. So how well we deal with the change request, how well we are able to come up with a proper plan to deal with the change control and come up with a proper change control mechanism. This is also a very important thing. And this is also part of the project governance, everyone. When we talk about the governance of the project, change control mechanism, the change control process is a very important thing to document, to analyze, to synthesize, and this helps us come up with the proper results. I've seen so many times that when we get some client requests, just to impress the client, just to say yes to everything, we absorb everything, and then we are not able to deliver all of those things. And then we don't deliver, there are some trust issues. When we don't deliver, there is some variance in the product. When we don't deliver, we're not able to come up with proper reputation. So there must be proper governance in place. How this governance work, that can be discussed in the detailed session. So governance helps us come up with proper change control mechanism, proper plan for prioritization of the different activities, so that we're able to prioritize all the client requests without affecting the budget. You have to always keep in mind the financial constraints, the financial feasibility. Yes, so that's about the challenges, everyone. Now, let's have a quick poll from everyone. And I'll request everyone to actively participate in this one. And the poll is, what is the biggest financial challenge that you faced in your project? Yes, so I request everyone, we have 14 participants. I can see response from just 3. If you all can actively participate, I'll just show you all the question here once more. Question is, what is the biggest financial challenge you face in any project? Since you all are into project management, financial management, analysis, consulting role, you all can answer this question. And you can see here 2, 3, 4, 5, 14 are there. I request everyone. Somebody saying all of the above. Yes. And if you look at this response, everyone, I hope this response is clearly visible here. And I'll go with this A and also B. Budget overruns, I strongly agree with my participants here that budget overrun is the main problem that we face in most of the projects. And option C tells us that it happens because we don't have proper financial tracking and reporting. I'm not saying that we're not doing it, but I'm telling that if we come up with proper tracking and monitoring mechanism, a plan-driven approach, that may help us resolve these issues of budget overruns. I can understand that it's difficult to predict everything, come up with the exact estimates, but we can easily avoid most of the budget overrun scenarios if we come up with proper financial management and proper risk management along with tracking and reporting the things. So as part of our financial management course, we can talk about all such things in detail. We can talk about the things mentioned in the CFA examination course, the FRM examination course, and all such things in detail. And those help us come up with proper strategy, planning, proactive analysis, so that we do everything within the budget constraints. Yes. So thank you so much, everyone, for your participation in the quick poll here. Then the next thing is, everyone, as you all mentioned about the budget overruns, so you can see here the importance of financial management. It will help you come up with budget accuracy to avoid any overruns, spillovers, or any issues with or misalignment with project strategy and the budget. Optimize resource allocation. This is a very important thing, a very challenging thing. And I think the project managers here would have a smile on their face that this is the most challenging thing for any project managing any project, is to optimize the resource allocation. Sometimes we find that we need more resources to work on the thing. Sometimes there are more resources and less work. And how to maintain the balance amongst all these dimensions is a very important thing. Optimize the resource allocation. Second thing is enhance budget accuracy. This is a very important thing. You come up with the budget estimates, but sometimes those estimates are like not aligned with our resulting strategy. So how well we are able to come up with proper budget accuracy? How will we come up with a plan to improve financial forecasting? Nowadays, we have a lot of tools. Those may help us come up with proper financial forecasting. We can talk about those tools in detail in our live sessions and how these tools can be used. Certain simulation techniques like Monte Carlo simulation that I'm using in my project. This helps us in proper financial forecasting. Yes, I can see one question here. Okay, it's not a question, it's just a reminder for me to make it quick. Yes, so improve financial forecastings, facilitate financial reporting, support project decision making, come up with proper risk management. And you can see here, ensure compliance and governance is also a very important thing. Enhance project viability and success. You all can see here one stat here that research indicates that for every 1 billion spent on projects, approximately 122 million, you can look at the percentage, I think around 40% is wasted due to the subpar project performance, often attributed to ineffective financial management. Yes, it's a very important thing for us to look at this stat here. Then you all can see here, when you talk about the budgeting in project management, a project budget, as we had discussed earlier as well, is a detailed plan outlining all the expenditures required to effectively run the project. It includes both direct, indirect costs, such as training, workforce, equipment, material, to ensure successful project completion. When we talk about project management, everyone, budgeting, project management is an important thing for us to come up with the project scope baseline. Baselining is very important thing as part of our initial, or you may say the first thing to do, the top priority. Then estimation of the activity cost, the total cost of change, the cost of ownership. All such things are very important things to estimate upfront. Incorporate contingency planning. Come up with a proper contingency planning is also a very important thing. Criteria for estimates. There are different criteria, different important elements to consider, and how well we are able to identify those elements is also a very important thing. Adjustment for the changes, and also come up with a proper risk register. Now, risk register, when we maintain, this helps us identify all the uncertainties, all the elements those may cause some adverse impact to the project, how well we are able to come up with proper risk treatment, as well as proper tolerance of the risk is a very important thing to maintain. Risk registers help us identify all the important elements, their behavior, the level of uncertainty, and then how to deal with the unwanted, the undesirable consequences. That's how this register may help us come up with proper risk treatment and tolerance of the risk. Then there are several approaches as part of the cost estimation, everyone. Like bottom-up approach, I think most of you would be aware about this approach, a very traditional approach that we all have been using for years. The bottom-up approach, the top-down estimation. Bottom-up approach involves identifying each discrete activity required for a project, estimation of the resources, time duration, and other things. So techniques utilized in project management, these help estimate the project's cost and also helps us determine the project timelines as well. So cost and budget, time boxing and budgeting can be easily done with the help of the financial management, the techniques used in project management. A new project is proposed. Project assesses the past data and personal expertise, offers a ballpark figure without the details, and further decision based on it. That's how these techniques may help us in proper project management and project planning. Similarly, top-down approach, this is a strategic decision making. Not a tactical approach, but a strategic decision-making method used when a project's cost or time duration attribute is imposed, particularly in initial phases where accurate estimates are not available. When accurate estimates are not available, this top-down approach, as you all follow in our projects, may help us come up with proper evaluation, and that proper evaluation leads to proper decision-making. Yes. Then after that, we have few other techniques like analogous estimation, parametric estimations. Analogous estimation use export decisions and past project when we draw the comparison, everyone. Comparative analysis when we perform, there comes the importance of analogous estimation. Like you talk about my project. So what happens is we have some historical information available. We have some past project data available. And then we set those as a benchmark. We draw some comparison against them. And then we're able to come up with certain estimates. So that's why if we come up with some successful results, those may help us perform analogous estimation for our upcoming initiatives. Yes. Parametric estimation, you define parameters to measure project deliverables. Requiring robust data, it calculates duration and cost using historical data and project parameters suitable for stable environments. Each approach has unique features. So that's about the analogous and the parametric estimations. Those help us draw the comparison, identify the benchmarks, do some discovery, look at the historical information available, and then come up with proper estimations. Yes. In simple terms, look at the similar projects when you're working on the new project. This will help you understand the important successful results, what were the failure events, and then it will help you come up with the proper strategy for your upcoming initiative. Now let's talk about the best practices for initial cost estimation. Although it's a huge topic, but here we'll discuss on high level what are the best practices for initial cost estimation. Define a clear scope is a very important thing. The boundaries, the limitations, the fencing, and what all things would lie within the scope. Gather the accurate data. Now, this is a very important thing. Sometimes what happens is we just get some raw data with a lot of, you may say, garbage or irrelevant things, and that leads to inaccurate, or you may say variance in the analysis. So that's an important thing for us to come up with proper and accurate data, utilize appropriate estimation techniques. Like we just discussed about few estimation techniques like top-down, bottom-up, parametric, analogous, and there's some other estimation techniques as well, like PERT, rough order magnitude, Delphi. So all such techniques, if you're able to apply, that may help us come up with the proper forecasting, and those forecasting, those trends may help us take some proper decisions, and those decisions may help us come with some fruitful results. So consider uncertainties and the risks, review and validate. Now, this is also very important. The proper review and validations of the estimates is also a very important thing. How well you are able to present those things to our different stakeholders, how well you are able to brainstorm and get some important ideas from them, get it reviewed. That's also a very important thing, because we may have some people in our team, we may have some people who have got some very good experience, and they may share some valuable thoughts, and those may help you come up with proper estimation. So the review, the validations are also very important. Documentation is also a very important thing if you have certain assumptions or the constraints. If I tell you about my own personal experience, these assumptions and constraints in any financial analysis cause a lot of problems and sometimes even lead to the failure events. That's why when we are performing our financial analysis, the accurate data, the right set of information, the detailed granular view of the information helps us come up with accurate results. And if at all we are making certain assumptions or there are certain constraints, this must be minimized to the lowest level possible. More the number of assumptions, more the constraints, more fluctuations or more deviations from the original objectives you will find. So that's why it's an important thing to document all the assumptions and constraints and try to minimize the level as minimal as possible, as minimal deviation, as minimal variance that would lead to more accurate results. Monitor and control the cost is also a very important thing. It's very easy when I say that monitor and control the cost, but very difficult to implement. Yes, in the projects. So this can be covered in detail once you're having a discussion on cost and budget estimates. Then the next thing is, everyone, the continuous forecasting and adjusting the budgets. This is also a very important thing. How well we are able to come up with the flexibility in our approach, how well we are able to use different methods, those help us come up with continuous forecasting and adjusting the budgets. So continuous forecasting refers to, as we all know, I think it's a very common term in most of the projects, that continuous forecasting refers to the ongoing process of updating financial forecast throughout the project life cycle. It's not like it's a one-time activity that in the initial phase we do it and then we are closing it. No, it's something that must be continuously, or not, if not continuously, it must be reviewed every now and then as part of the ongoing process. It involves revising predictions about the future cost, because you may find few things coming up during the project life cycle, and that's such an important thing to come up with the flexibility. Yes. Let me close this. So it involves revising predictions about future cost, revenues, and financial needs based on real-time data. This is a very important thing, real-time data and project progress. The several methods, we cannot talk about these things because we have very limited time today. But these all methods, like straight line methods, moving average, I think most of you would have applied moving average methods in your projects. And this we used to have in our 12th standard as well, moving average methods, linear regressions, use of statistics, visual central tendencies. These all things help us come up with proper forecasting as well as adjustment capabilities. Nowadays, you all must have heard about tools like Tableau, Power BI, and all such tools. These all help us come up with proper reporting and also help us in our statistical analysis. So analytics, the analytics also helps us in proper financial analysis. The forecasting, the regression analysis, these all can be easily done nowadays with the help of some important tools like Tableau and Power BI. We can talk about those things in our live session, but not here because we have very less time today. But yes, these all methods may help us come up with proper forecasting and also come up with adjusting budget capabilities. Developing those capabilities is very important thing so that we have the flexibilities in our project, and that can only be done if our forecasting is the ongoing process. Yes. So the next thing is about the straight line method, how it is used. Yes, so I'll just cover on a high level here that this method, as you all know, assumes that the future results like revenues, expenses, profits will follow the linear trend on the historical data. Now, what is the linear trend? What is the bilinear? What is the dispersed trend? Those all things we can discuss once we're into our detailed, or you may say in our live session, we can discuss about those things with the help of some tools. Yes, a straight line is drawn between 2 points on a graph representing these all things we can discuss in detail. Yes, how this straight line method helps us come up with some predictions. Moving averages is very important, and I'm like pretty much sure that you all must have used this thing. And this is a very traditional method that we are using over the years. Moving average method takes the average of the specific number of past data points, and with the help of some historical data, with the help of some sample data, how well we are able to come up with certain patterns and trends, that this moving average will always help us. Yes, so there are a few calculations involved in moving average. Those can be discussed in detail when we are into our live sessions, that how it works, and I can share with you some data sets, some examples. Those may help you come up with proper moving average, and how this method is useful for forecasting environments where there are fluctuations in the data. This is a very important thing. The straight line method works on the ideal set of data, but we all know that there are always fluctuations. There are certain deviations, ups and downs. Yes, so that's why it helps smooth short-term volatility. So what is volatility? How it is calculated? Yes, how it helps us in coming up with certain predictions. Those all things can be covered as part of our financial management course or program. And we can discuss all these things with the help of examples, case studies in detail in our live sessions. Simple linear regression, as you all know, this method used in statistical techniques, measures of central tendency, standard deviations, variances, correlations, regressions to identify trends and patterns. And this trend and pattern recognition, as you all know, would always help us coming up with or drive the forecasting. So trend and pattern analysis becomes very easy when we apply certain important statistical methods. The statistical analysis is a very important thing. And if I talk about the Financial Risk Management FRM certification program offered by GARP, 20% weightage is given to the financial statistical analysis. And the reason is that the statistical analysis will help us come up with proper mathematical calculations. And those calculations may help us come up with proper predictions. And before predictions, proper projections in the form of trends and patterns. So that's why the regression methods will always help us come up with the continuous forecasting, and this continuous forecasting may help us in adjusting our budget allocation, and also coming up with proper balancing of budgets with the customer expectations or the product features. So all such things we can discuss in detail in our sessions about the linear regressions and all. Multiple linear regression on similar lines, a bit complex as compared to the simple linear regression, but yes, this also helps us come up with better results. This extends the previous method by using more than one independent variables. Like you can see here, time, price, advertising, there can be sales, there can be other things. So more the variables we use, it will make it multiple. And more variables we use, we'll get more broader view of the data. You all would agree with me. And more broader view may help us come up with better patterns and trends. And more broader view, more detailed view, more granular view of the information helps us come up with better realization of value as well. So that's why multiple linear regression method is also a very effective method. I'm using this thing as part of the Monte Carlo simulation, my project, and it really helps us in our hedge fund project. I'm into one hedge fund project, and there we use this multiple linear regression method effectively, and this helps us come up with proper, you may say, estimations, proper patterns and trends, and those help our senior management take some effective decisions. That's why the techniques like multiple linear regression really helps us come up with proper forecasting and predictions, and that overall results into proper adjustments in the budgets. Then moving on to other important things, everyone, that when we talk about adjusting budget, it's based on project progress, involves revising, as we all know, the original budget to reflect chances in the project scope, performance, and also unforeseen issues. It's a very important thing here, performance and unforeseen issues. This ensures that the budget remains realistic. Yes, it's realistic, something that is doable. It's not like you're coming up with anything and everything that can be implemented. No, we have a proper plan in place, and we're coming up with real-time estimates and aligned with the project's current status. That's very important. And it's an important thing for us to look into the capital budget, cash flow budget, project budget, a very important thing, must be aligned with all these things. Zero-based budgets, flexible budgets, incremental budgets, operational budgets, and all these things may help us come up with proper budgeting and forecasting. And we can have a detailed discussion on these things once we're into our live sessions. We can talk about all such things in detail with the help of some case studies with some numerical problems. We can discuss about these things in detail. Then financial tracking and reporting are essential for managing project budgets and providing insights into financial performance to stakeholders, ensuring effective decision making. You all can see here that how it helps us in coming up with proper effective decision making. Resource and actuals, resource forecast, non-resource forecast, PM forecasted cost, all these things may help us. You can see here from this funding and budget released to capitalization to month-end processes, and these are all things we can discuss in detail. Project cost and completion, project lifetime impact amortizations, EBITDA, and all such financial ratios. We can talk about more than 15 financial ratios. Those may help us in coming up with proper financial planning and budgeting. Capital adequacy, liquidity, amortizations. These all things may help us come up with proper analysis on the financial ratios. And those ratios, financial ratios may help us in coming up with proper financial tracking. Yes. You all must have heard about the Lehman Brothers crisis. I don't want to quote that example here, but we can discuss about the Lehman Brothers crisis, about what exactly happened there, and how such things can be minimized if you follow proper risk management strategy. Yes. Now, when we talk about everyone, budget tracking and variance analysis. Now, variance analysis is a very important thing. Budget tracking, as you all know, compares actual spending. Most of you would be aware about this thing. It helps to compare actual spending against the planned budgets to maintain financial limits. And here we can talk about in detail that variance analysis examines budget cost and actual expenditures. And the difference between the two. What is the actual expenditure? What are the budget costs? Tracking cost variances. Schedule variance to monitor financial performance and prevent the overruns and the scope creeps. So here, business performance evaluation, early detection of issues, informed decision making, improved budgeting accuracy, enhanced cost control. These all may help us in proper, you may say, monitoring and tracking of the project performances. Yes. And then the next thing, cash flow management. Cash flow tracking monitors cash inflows, very simple and basic thing that we all follow in our projects to ensure project liquidity. It forecasts and analyzes cash inflows and outflows, preparing for potential funding gaps, if any, and predicting future financial requirements. Tracking cost of the resources and the labor. Cost to completion analysis is a process that estimates the additional funds needed to complete a project based on current spending trends to prevent unexpected financial shortfalls towards the project completion. So that's why it's a very important thing to follow all these things. So we have proper structure and organized, we'll deal with different aspects of the business. Now, when we talk about the dashboards, it's an important thing for any manager, for any analyst, for any consultant to come up with proper dashboard to maintain real-time visibility. And what all things we should have in our dashboards, designing a cash flow monitoring dashboard. Although I believe most of us would be doing this thing, but we can discuss in our live sessions in detail how to monitor a cash flow dashboard that involves defining objectives, audience, selecting relevant KPIs and metrics, integrating appropriate data sources, and deciding on the update frequency. Update frequency simply means it must be an ongoing process. It's not like we have done it, we have completed just one time and then it's like done forever. No, it must be an ongoing process. Keep on updating it for the continuous improvement. It helps us come up with real-time visibility. Proper stakeholder communication through proper communication channels. We are able to identify all the key activities, all the important relevant information that we share with our stakeholders. This is a very important thing. Collaborating with our key stakeholders, gain some important ideas, suggestions, performance monitoring, risk management, data-driven decision making is a very important thing because now we are into the world of data science, we are in the world of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. So there, data-driven decision making is a very important thing. This can be done with the help of some important statistical analysis tools. Yes, like RStudio, Tableau, Power BI, and several other tools we have that help us perform proper data-driven decision analysis. By coming up with proper trends and patterns in the data, and those patterns and trends may help us come up with proper predictions and forecasting, and that may help us come up with proper decision making. And also the goal alignment. This will help us achieve the business objectives. So, using dashboards, we can come up with proper cash conversion scores, cash inflow and outflows, net operating incomes, and all such things we can easily document and you can easily project, we can easily capture in our dashboards. Now, this quick poll for you all, everyone. There's a quick poll for everyone. I'll try to wrap up this thing very quickly. A quick poll is, how often do you use financial management tool to track project costs and budgets? So, a quick poll is open on your screen. You all can quickly participate. Yes, I'm always doing it in my project. Yes, because this helps us come up with the very accurate results. Yes. So I can see from the responses that it's an important thing for everyone. Yes. So that's why we can discuss those things in detail in our upcoming sessions or in our detailed session, that how these tools help us. These tools will reduce the manual workaround. These tools will help us come up with more accurate information, and that accurate information would lead to the better results. Yes. So budgeting, cost estimation, financial tracking and reporting, built-in dashboards, Power BIs, integration Power BI, these all things may help us in coming with proper dashboards. The tools like Oracle, yes, Power BI, these all help us. Right, we have, yes. So these all help us in coming with proper projections and trends. I'll quickly talk about the early warning signs of project overruns. Cost overrun occurs when actual project costs exceed the budget amount. And that may happen when we are not coming up with proper strategy. While cost escalation refers to the predictable rise in project input cost due to factors like inflation. Unlike cost overruns, cost escalation is anticipated and planned for in initial cost estimations. How to avoid those things? Techniques for budget alignment and corrective actions. Analyze variances. It's a very important thing to analyze variances. Reforecast the budget. Implement cost control measures. Renegotiate contracts and agreements. Enhancing financial reporting. Adjust project schedules. Improve forecast accuracy. Communicate to stakeholders and implement corrective actions. These all things may help us in coming up with proper, you may say, budget alignment, and along with that, corrective actions. So we have few, you can see some case studies on handling financial setbacks. Apple situation in mid-90s, I think it's a very popular one. Apple was struggling with the declining market share and financial losses and lack of innovative products. This is the main important thing, the innovation. And what was the action taken? Focused on developing groundbreaking projects like iMac, iPod, and now we can see their position in the market capitalization. Yes. So, and what's the outcome? Apple transformed into one of the most valuable and innovative technology companies in the world, achieving remarkable financial success. This is one important case study for any financial analyst. And the last thing is about the Airbus. Airbus creative product, which involved developing world's largest commercial aircraft, faced significant challenges, including delays and cost over 66 billion, such a huge amount. And despite these hurdles, aircraft was successfully launched thanks to effective project management strategy, ultimately delivering a world-class product that met customer expectations. So there may be some important, you may say, challenges, issues, or uncertainties, constraints when we start with the things. But if we follow certain standard set of practices, if we take the help of a data-driven decision making, if we take the help of statistical analysis, if we take the help of some historical data, trend analysis, pattern recognition, those may help us eventually come up with better innovation, come up with proper, effective product management strategies, and that may lead to the overall success, and that may lead to the you may say the meeting the customer expectations. Yes. So that's it. A short presentation. Yes, and thank you so much everyone for joining. Lester, if you want to take over, you can take it over now. I'm done with my discussion with my learners.
Okay. Hi, Sir Vaibhav. Thank you. So, firstly, thank you, Sir Vaibhav, for that very informative learning session. And everyone, it's really inspiring to gain additional knowledge, right? So, before you formally leave as well, kindly answer yung feedback form as well. And then I'll also be sharing our programs for project management and business analytics for the next few quarters or for the next few months. So firstly, I'll be sharing my screen here. So hi everyone once again. So I'd like to introduce our courses, which would be Project Management Fundamentals or PMF on November 7 to 8, 2024. In this 2-day session, we'll deep dive into the key roles and responsibilities of a project manager, equipping you with essential skills aligned with global standards from the PMBOK 7th edition. We'll also explore agile project management and introduce practical tools and templates you can use immediately. Whether you're new to project management or looking to refine your skills, this course will help you meet the rising standards in today's dynamic project landscape. This is perfect for new or aspiring project managers. By the way, it's a new launch too, so don't miss this chance. And next would be our PMP or Project Management Practitioner. Our 4-day live virtual course, led by a certified project management expert, is designed to ensure you pass the PMP exam on your first attempt. So we'll guide you through performance domains, models, and methodologies, helping you align your project efforts with your organization's goals. It's perfect for you if you are a seasoned PM and looking forward to make a real impact on your projects. And lastly would be our Certified Business Analysis Professional or CBAP course. It is designed to help you become a highly effective business analyst. Over 3 days of intensive training, you'll learn proven business analysis strategies, gain hands-on experience through real-life case studies, and fully be prepared to pass the CBAP exam. By the end of the course, you'll have the skills and knowledge to make valuable enhancements to your organization's business processes. So once again, before you formally leave, kindly answer the feedback form, and thank you, Sir Vaibhav, and for your remarkable presentation. And thank you
Thank
to all
you.
our
Thank you so much.
participants for being part of this insightful journey. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.